Yes, yes, yes. Today's date is February 3rd. It's officially what? And still Black History Month, people.
Yeah.
This show is presented by way of StreamYard. We are live on YouTube, IG, and Kick. All right, we on Kick as well. Twitch, we on there too. I'm Amrock. That is Dez. That is DJ No Name. This is the HL Podcast, where we go beyond limits and knowledge. What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling, man?
Good.
Feeling real good.
Good. What's been happening lately? Think been all right out there in Tulsa?
People out here trolling like Moon-51.
Oh yeah.
Dealing with the trolls like that, man. Stay over there. Be sure to stay over there. I was gonna go crazy. I'm gonna keep it light. Just stay over there. I feed the trolls, y'all. So if you want to go back and forth, we can. I feed the trolls.
Wait 30 seconds.
I let them know on the post earlier. I said you gonna get them.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be fucking with you. Not on Black History Month.
Yeah. Not on Black History Month. You get that Eric McBee comedy? Not on Black History Month, beloved.
None of that will be tolerated.
Talking about Lamar.
None of that will be tolerated. Not Black History Month. People, we are available on iHeartRadio and Spotify. All right, please hit that subscribe button. All right, greatly appreciate everybody who has thus far. All right, again, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe buttons on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. All right, and please follow us on IG at the HL Podcast. A quick rundown for today. Again, it's officially Black History Month. Do y'all know why we have a Black History Month and who maybe be responsible for it? All right. Our sports commentators destroying perspectives of greatness with personal biases. We'll get into that. Does Sinners have a legit shot at the Oscars, or did it just get nominated to attract more Black viewers? And lastly, our statement on the recent arrest on Don Lemon, Georgia Fort, and others, and the blatant reminder about our First Amendment. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, somebody said hello. All right, appreciate it.
Yo.
Look, all positivity here. We don't want no trolls. All right, we don't. Gary already said, don't bring the smoke. Bring the smoke. All right, so people, first up, most known, unknown. All right, and I want to discuss Black History Month, of course, right? The origins, right? Why we have a Black History Month? Where does it come from, right? Who's responsible for it? Because a lot of us really don't know, right? Why is it in February, the shortest month of the year, right? But the first statement I want to make is that we celebrate Black history, all right, 365, 24/7. All right, a month is not going to hold us down as far as us learning and exploring our Black history, as we've done on this show. All right, with the most known, unknown, and other segments, and through film and music and sports. Right, we talk about Black history all the time, and so Black history is a annual, all right, year-round thing. All right, it is not confined to a month, but nevertheless, all right, we celebrate it during the month of February, and its roots can be traced back to 1915, all right, when Carter G. Woodson, all right, a Harvard-trained historian, and a group of African-American scholars founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, all right, so that's where, the momentum kind of picked up, right? So then in 1926, okay, Woodson initiated the Negro History Week, all right, choosing the second week of February, all right, because it had Abraham Lincoln's birthday and it had Frederick Douglass's birthday, all right. As far as the evolution during the 1960s, it picked up momentum, especially with civil rights movement, picking up momentum, voting rights movement, all those different things. And officially in 1976, all right, President Gerald Carter, who my mom says is her favorite president, all right, officially recognized February as Black History Month, urging Americans to celebrate the contributions of Black Americans throughout history. All right. So Listen, I express how I feel about Black History Month. How do y'all feel about Black History Month, and what does it mean to y'all?
You gonna go, Gary? You want me to go first?
You can go. You got it.
I love Black History Month. I mean, if you're Black and you don't like Black History Month, I mean, that tells you everything, I think, personally. But I think I've learned to, as I said, I've gotten older to appreciate it, because why the month is this? Because the reasons you listed. But Black History Month was built to protect the history, and I think that is like the important thing. And though it is still limited to a month, and you still have the right and choice to celebrate all 365. Shout out to McDonald's, you know what I'm saying, for those who remember that back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And it doesn't define,
Yeah,
it doesn't define who we are, but it absolutely defines where we've come from. And I think that's why, to the core, I love Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? I've always looked at it as like putting a bookmark in a big book so people can finally stop skipping the pages. And I think that is what Black History Month has always been.
I like how you said that, for real. And that's just like what Des said, it's just bringing awareness. And I like how, when it comes around, I'm curious of what comes along with it, year by year. But I just want to end it like this. I'm Black, y'all. I'm Black, y'all. I'm Blackity Black, the Black, y'all. That's all y'all need to know. 365, 366, 367, whenever. Just know it's always that. You dig what I'm saying to you?
Absolutely.
Oh, and also, be clear. Silhouette Sneakers and Art, Black-owned business. Stop by and buy some kicks, buy some gear, some local gear. If not, SilhouetteTulsa.com. You get 20% off your first online order.
I was going to ask, like, what type of celebration, because y'all are definitely a Black city, right? I mean, so Black Wall Street and the whole 9 yards. I just found out John Starks, the legendary John Starks, is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shout out to John Starks, New York Knicks. But like, what do y'all do out there? Like, what is y'all Black History Month celebrate? I know Juneteenth, y'all y'all got it turned up out there.
The biggest Juneteenth. I said it. The biggest.
I think there's, you got spots you can read and stuff, and like there's like I cannot remember her name for the love of me right now. She does the reading at the libraries, but we don't really do nothing for Black History Month. Like, little groups may have things here and there, but everything for Tulsa has always been Juneteenth, Legacy Fest, and those are the two big ones.
Yeah, I was like, that's basically, it doesn't compare to Juneteenth, how it's celebrated. Just like what Des says, like a lot of independent celebrations, like own businesses and groups like that come together and put events on, like real heavy during the month. And then, businesses highlight Black creators and things like that. So that's how it usually goes down over here.
That's what's up. And people, again, Carter G. Woodson, all right, born in December 19th, 1875, passed away on April 3rd, 1950. Again, he was a historian, an author, a journalist as well, and the founder of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. All right, one of the most prominent Black educators, and historians through our time. So just wanted to shout him out, of course, because he's from Virginia. He's from the DMV area. So, but again, Carter G. Woodson, all right, the actual official founder of Black History Month and pushing the movement for Black History Month again, which was made official by President Gerald Ford in 1976. So we're going to celebrate, and keep on celebrating. All right.
Yeah, because my bad if I didn't catch it, Rock. This is the centennial of that, right? Like 100 years?
It is. You're absolutely right. Yep. So, this, what is that? So that's 50 years? Yeah, 50 years. Yep. That's dope. All right, people. You already know what time it is.
Uh-oh.
You already know what time it is.
Uh-oh.
The Nixon.
When it's Lamar Jackson, he has no excuses. When it's Josh Allen, it's the team's fault. The Black quarterback. Why do we have to go through such I really like when Des points out how he's disappointed in like Hurts and Lamar, because those type of individuals is all we have. And I really need to explain people the importance of Lamar Jackson getting a ring. And I can't stress that enough. And it's not like on some like just whatever. It's just he gonna have to earn it. Like, let's be clear. And when he does get that ring, y'all gonna have to block me, spam me, all of that. My thing is this: why is it that the black quarterback has to go through that when the opposition doesn't? I'm still waiting on this whole 4 turnover thing from Josh Allen to still kick him in the A double, and it's just simply not. I'm seeing on social media every time people are still questioning Lamar Jackson, and he's just trying to mind his business at the Pro Bowl, fam. So I just wanted to spew this to get this back to y'all. How do y'all feel just about what the black quarterback has to go through in comparison to the counterparts?
You want this, Rock, or you want me to go first?
Go ahead, yes. Go ahead.
This one was interesting to me because I personally, I think it goes back to like the media stuff with the black quarterback, and that's why I stop it, because right now the best football quarterback in the league is black, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Like he is the standard. It's just when you look at a Lamar and Hurts, for familiarity, for some of us, they represent what we feel the culture more. But I think overall race has shaped access to the quarterback position in the NFL. But if you look at over time, with the black quarterbacks we have, excellence is now shaping the expectation. And I think that before we talk about where the position is now, I think it's important to acknowledge how far it's come with quarterbacks. You have like Colin Kaepernick here on Black History Month who sacrificed, took a moment and do things like that. I mean, he forced the league and the country to confront the reality where it was for black quarterbacks and just black people in general. And that matters because it shows us the cost that he had to sacrifice for a lot of these quarterbacks got really where they are. But historically, black quarterbacks were never elevated the same way. And it still feels like when you have media pundits say what they say, and history matters. And it's important that this conversation, I love this talk point. It existed, but history really doesn't, when we look at it, freeze the present. And right now, the best quarterback in the league is black. The last 3 Super Bowls had black quarterbacks. This is the first Super Bowl within 2 to 3 years where no black quarterback is being represented. And today, black quarterbacks aren't fighting for permission. I think they are defining the standard. When you look at Pat, when you look at Lamar, Russell Wilson being the second black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, I think it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's those things to be looked at. And I will also say for people on Black history, Amazon Prime has a documentary on the black quarterback, which we should watch because it is an incredible documentary.
It's the Mike Vick joint, right?
Yes, it's an incredible
really good. Yes.
It's really one of my favorites. But I think the thing that everybody has to start acknowledging in the league, the best quarterback right now, technically speaking, and it just depends what we want to weigh the metric on, because the media likes to shift. But if the standard is just Super Bowls, how they want to put with Josh Allen and everything, he ain't the best quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. And if you want to really get down to it, he's the closest thing that we got a GOAT right now since Brady's retired, because he's been that. And I mean, I'll just end with that. I mean, because I think Pat, but the standard, I just like to say it's shifted. And you know what I'm saying? And I think that black quarterbacks are defying the expectation. It's just the media is going to play in the narrative, and Lamar will get his. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. And right quick, Rock, before you go, Des, I like that you pointed out Kaepernick's bringing the awareness by what he did and literally how he had to sacrifice his career, because one of the Bosa's, even though he's not a quarterback, said what he said like a season or 2 ago, if I'm not mistaken, and he had like a severe injury. So watch how y'all play out there, because it will bite you.
Yeah, man. How race has shaped the black quarterbacks in the NFL. How can I put this delicately? It's made the owners rethink who can lead, obviously, right? It's made head coaches rethink who can lead. All right. They always, back in the day, I guess like Tony Dungy and those guys, like Tony Dungy started off as a quarterback. A lot of people don't know that, right? At the University of Minnesota. And coming into the league, he had to, I guess, change to a safety, I believe he was, or wide receiver, something like that. It was just a matter of, like, again, that stereotype of they don't feel like we are as intelligent. We are leaders, which is bullshit, because they know we are as intelligent. They know we are leaders. And a role like a quarterback role, that is the presidential role, right? That is the CEO on the field. And so, for us to break through in the NFL, the Doug Williamses of the world, and I know Desi was going down the history as well, but Doug Williams, won the first Super Bowl as a black quarterback with the Washington Redskins at the time. And then what
you did numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what Cunningham has done, and what McNair was able to do, and what Vic was able to do, and so many others leading into Wilson and Jalen Hurts and Mahomes and Lamar and so many others, right? Kaepernick. It's just been very impressive what they've been able to do in this league, how they've been able to, like Jalen Hurts, keep their composure when you know that you're getting digged a lot harder, solely because you're a black quarterback. Like, let's be real. Yeah, let's be real, right? A lot of the, the bullshit, like, we don't want to make everything racial, but Jalen Hurts, again, is a black quarterback in a highly black city of Philadelphia. Black wife, all right, has opposed the political office of the people that are in office, right? And so it's easy to attack him, especially white media. It's easy to attack him. All right. Everybody, who did they just beat in the Super Bowl? Kansas City. Everybody loves Patrick Mahomes, right? It's easy to, go at him because of that. But nevertheless, the black quarterback, what they've been able to do has been incredible. The heights that they've been able to reach with the pushback that they have received, such as Kaepernick, such as many others. Kaepernick just, with his blackballing, if you will, that's definitely been really public. And so, they've just been able to, redefine what the league is. All of those guys brought a flash, brought a style to the game. Nobody seen Mahomes doing what he's doing right now, right? Nobody saw Vic coming, right? Nobody saw that, and if Vic actually, per his own words, if he actually focused a little bit more and, and all the off the field stuff didn't happen, Vic would have been, he would have had definitely, did he win an MVP? Or did he win? No, he didn't win it. He could have had an MVP season. He definitely, he could have been, I forgot about Cam Newton, even though he's a Jalen Hurts and Philly hater. Cam Newton's still part of that history. But nevertheless, black quarterbacks, they definitely, define what the league is, right? And they brought a style to the league. And again, they show owners and coaches that, we are definite leaders, which they already know that, but, they're proving that to the fans out there as well, that they can go out there and lead teams and be successful. But as far as the scrutiny they face, that's obvious, right? Because again, you're in a position where you are a leader. You are the CEO out there on the field. And normally, all right, especially in America, they don't want a black person at that helm. They prefer a Josh Allen. They prefer a Justin Herbert. They prefer a Baker Mayfield. That's just what it is. And so, at the end of the day, shout out to all of those guys who are doing great in the NFL, all of the legendary quarterbacks. All right. And these are just a few that's in the league or was in the league. All right. And some that are legendary throughout the league. So the shout out to these guys, man. Definitely black quarterback definitely doing their thing in the league. Keep doing it, and yeah, keep
You know, Rock, you said
pissing
something
people
like,
off. Keep pissing people off.
you said something like dope, and I just want to like kind of pick it before we segue out, like because tying into somebody like a Jalen Hurts, and I think what we have right now versus what we grew up with. I'm not saying we didn't have like R.P. McNears and things like that, but we live in a time, and I'll touch back on this later, where it's the most eclectic, diverse time of how you see blackness, and it's beauty in that for Black history, because you'll have somebody like a Jalen who is Jalen. You'll have somebody like a Pat and a Dak who are biracial, and that's just where they're at. Then you have a Lamar, and for people that's like the culture a little bit. Everybody, you have this, and there's other ones we can throw out there. CJ, you have, you know what I'm saying? There's different representation, but I feel like where you look at it right now with the Black quarterback is that, like I said earlier, race has shaped the journey, but their excellence is shaping the future. And progress is not always going to look exactly how everybody imagined it. And that applies to Black people, non-Black people. But right now, I love this group of Black quarterbacks because, like the ones before them, in the shoulders that they stand on, I just feel much more this generation, they're not chasing acceptance. And they're shaping what it truly looks like going forward. And I think each one of them, like I said, if you pick who you want, but yeah, they'll talk about Josh Allen, but reality is, if we're going off of titles, the best quarterback in the league, he Black. And they don't, and they slowly stop talking about it when he stopped winning. But the truth of the matter is, they got to talk about him every year. So hopefully, you know, race shaped the journey, the excellence is shaping the future, and each one of these individuals in their own way. Two-time MVP, Lamar, Jaden McDaniels, that's what I couldn't think of earlier. He's coming next, and you know, all these people coming up. Even you got CJ, Bryce Young, got Carolina. They got to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And they're only going to get better. If you look at the future, Caleb Williams, the year that he had, like, you know, and they're coming, and it's like you can't do nothing with it. So
I got a question though. NFL at the NFL. No Black head coach hires this offseason, with all of the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators out there who are successful. Zero Black head coach hires this offseason. All right. We just lost Mike Tomlin, so I don't know how many is in the league. We got the Jets.
There's only 3. Houston.
And what was the other one?
It's Houston Jets,
and the third one. Where's the third Black coach at? There's only 3. It's Houston Jets
and Mike Tomlin.
Nah,
it's tired.
Let's see. Maybe.
Well, nevertheless, I mean, how many teams are in the NFL?
32,
right?
32.
Yeah.
How about I always get that number mixed up? It's around there. Yep.
3. All of the talent.
Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay. I knew it was
that's barely, because
how did I forget about Todd?
He's almost out the door, so that's barely.
I knew it was 3.
3 Black head coaches. 3 out of 32.
3 Rock Boys. 3.
And the NFL is over 75-80% Black, including those Black quarterbacks we just talked about. And we only have 3 Black head coaches in the NFL and 0 hires this offseason. NFL, what's up? Again, and this is a parallel to what we're going to talk about later with centers. I think that sometimes they, you know, I'm not even going to say I think. I know that they play with us in that regard, right? You know, like last few seasons, they hired a few, you know what I'm saying? Because people were saying, hey, I ain't going to watch the NFL if y'all don't hire somebody. And then, all right, then they snuck in a few. And this season, you wasn't really hearing that too much. People weren't saying, oh, I ain't going to watch the NFL if they don't hire. Now what? You know, it's like, yo, like, these entities just keep playing in our faces, man. And we really have to branch off eventually. And I'm talking about in every avenue, right? I mean, yeah, it's like, yo, you think about Martin Luther King trying to integrate. It's like, yo, we were better off being segregated in many cases, yo, like many cases. and but shame on the NFL. 0 black hit. Let me pause. Let me be more specific. Shame on the slave owners of the NFL. How about that? All right. The NFL owners, the slave owners, shame on them.
There you go.
For not they probably didn't even consider any candidates. That Rooney Rule, that's bullshit at this point, right? And
social media post was definitely because of the Rooney Rule. That's all that was.
Yeah, and then I think Goodell came out, and said that, he's gonna revise it or make some up bullshit, because it ultimately it comes down to the owners and whoever the presidents are, or the general managers, right? And you got to get more black people in those roles. Like, come on, people, right? Most of the players out there on the field are not represented or not coached by someone who looks like them, right? Who has similar backgrounds to them, right? And that matters. Coaching environments, for the most part, that matters, right? We need that representation. And there's plenty of talented candidates out there. It's absolutely ridiculous. But with that being said,
one more thing.
Oh, go ahead, DJ.
I wanted to shout out to Tony Dungy. He tried to talk slick about the Ravens, talking about how you gonna get rid of John Harbaugh if y'all can't find another one. And shout out to the owner, Stevie B. He was like, "Yo, I found John Harbaugh. So how you gonna tell me we're not gonna find another one if I'm the one who gave him the opportunity?" Shout out to Stevie B, Tony Dungy. I'm gonna keep it like this is Black History Month.
I'm going hard because it's black. Fuck that shit. All right, look, there is going to be a Super Bowl. All right, I don't think any one of us cares about these teams, but who do y'all have winning between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks?
I got the Seahawks, but simply because of Mike McDonald. He was supposed to be a Ravens product, and I'm over it now. I am over it. That
would have been a great succession plan, though. Like, in hindsight, like looking at it now, that would have been,
yeah. And so I really do rock with Mike. I want to see him get it early in the game. I got the Seahawks.
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't watch the Super Bowl. I'll watch it for that. And I've not watched the Super Bowl. I really don't watch football. I only do fantasy. I rarely watch a game. I'll catch a highlight if it come on that, so it don't really matter to me. But I'm watching just this one for Bad Bunny, and I can care less who wins.
I'm about to learn some Espanol on this one.
Straight up and down. Y'all better keep up and catch up.
I'm watching for Bad Bunny. I'm not I have to say I'm a basketball fan. We got our coaches together, and I know my product when it got together. I've not supported football in a while. I think this will be the first year I'll buy a football ticket if I go to a Raiders game. But I
say Mendoza got you out of retirement.
No, I want to see Genty, and I want to see Brock Bowers. I think it was Brock Bowers or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can care less about the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. I only watched, the last one I watched was the first one with Philly played. I didn't even watch last year's because I was just like, I'll just catch who wins. Because well, I watched last year for the Super Bowl again. So like,
yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, Seattle. I can't stand New England. So Seattle.
And I get props when it's due. Patriots been nice. They got a nice defense. It's just, man, when I be watching them Seahawks film, it's like they really don't want you to do nothing on offense. Like how their defense is, fam. Like that, their defense is really, really, really good. And they about to. And if they can keep their core together by any chance, which is really hard to do in football, especially after they get a ring, they gonna be all right.
Yeah,
they gonna be all right.
I mean, and Seattle's just been the better team, right? Like you look at their games and their path to get to the Super Bowl compared to the Patriots. We already went over the schedule and all that with New England. But, I mean, even with the Denver game, y'all played a backup quarterback, and you only had, 10, 13 points? I think it was. It was like 10-7 or some shit.
Yeah, the spirit of Brock Osweiler wasn't there, man. I was sad, man. I really wanted Denver to win that game, and it just didn't.
I mean, I would have, definitely rather had Denver. But yeah, I mean, so Seattle just looks, way superior. Seattle's playing on the West Coast, right? The game is a couple hours, down the shore in Santa Clara. So, now they try to say the bullshit. What was it? It was a meme out there like, oh, every team that goes west goes east, wins the Super Bowl or something. And then people were like, yo, they're going south. Like, just ignorant people. They're going south. They're not going east. Like, what? It's Seattle. Santa Clara is below it. Like, people. This is what I was talking about. Read. Learn geography. All right? That's simple right there. Like, that ain't that difficult. All right? But, yeah. I hope Seattle beats the brakes off in New England. I truly do. Don't like anything Patriots, anything Boston. Shout out to my guy Kenny, who's in Miami but from Boston. But nah.
Are y'all looking forward to any movie trailers? Or y'all got any guesses? Any movies gonna pop up?
I mean, the Michael joint just dropped. I mean, they're not in Doomsday. They said they're not dropping any for the Super Bowl, and then the Michael one just dropped. So the only one probably that's really anticipated will be the Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think that one's gonna drop. But other than that, I mean, but that Michael trailer, Coleman Domingo, I'm calling it now.
Oh yeah, he cleaned the house. He cleaned the house.
He's gonna get nominated, and depending on who he's up against, he might win supporting actor for this joint. Because like him is Papa Joe. Yeah, that's just gonna be where he looked just like him.
Yeah, he did.
Sounds just like him.
That was
crazy.
crazy.
And he's a great actor. So yeah, but that Mike and then his nephew looked just like. Yeah, clearly they embodied him. But I don't know if y'all saw the end of the trailer. I just watched it again. At the end of the trailer, it says the journey or something like that. The journey begins.
Yes.
They're gonna do a part 2.
Yes.
They got to.
Yes. I caught that and I had an instant reaction, and I think I was doing something as I was watching it because I thought the same thing. I was like, yo, are they insinuating it is going to be a 2-part? Because that's exactly what I thought when I saw that at the end of that trailer.
Yeah.
I'll do a part 2. It depends on
they got to, man.
Yeah, because clearly from the trailer, it's clearly going to go from his childhood to the bad tour. Probably right before like Remember the Time and Jam and all Dangerous rather. So yeah, then they have to do a part 2 from that point to the time of his death. Like I think they definitely gonna drop a part 2 on that. But yeah, the Michael trailer was crazy. Nia Long's gonna be incredible in that. But yeah. So, yeah.
Shout out to Bubbles.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Who is Bubbles?
The monkey.
Wow, that's the monkey. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because when they did the initial trailer and he wasn't in it, that's why I think I asked y'all about Bubbles, and then you mentioned like the time, like the timeline, like they was following. So I was when did what album did Bubbles kick in? And then the trailer showed it. And I was like, shout out to Bubbles.
Well, I didn't realize that was his name. Oh shit. Wow, that's cool. That's what's up. Again, as I brought it up during the rundown, sports commentators, all right, such as these two, all right, DJ's favorites, all right. A few of these guys here. All right, some heavy hitters over here. Who else do I have? Oh, this character. Okay. Sports commentators, right? And we were talking about this, right? We were texting about this. I know this was a conversation we wanted to talk about on here. With how sports is kind of being diluted in the sense, all right? You have a lot of people, including myself, including us, right? We, I do the Victory Mondays for the Eagles during the season, right? We comment on the podcast. We got a Ravens fan, we got an Eagles fan, we got a Raiders fan. And and we love sports, right? But we understand greatness. We understand history. We understand that you don't have to like someone to, you know, and not be able to appreciate their greatness, right? I don't care for Tom Brady. I never did, even while playing, right? But I can still understand and appreciate that, and man, got 7 rings, all right, in the NFL. That's hard to do, all right? However you want to look at it with cheating and this and that, you know. Look, just my personal opinion, I don't think that happened every fucking year. But nevertheless, the man still won 7 Super Bowls, right? You have to acknowledge that greatness.
That's a lot of titles, fam.
Yeah, in the NFL, that's
in the NFL, fam. Like that is a lot of titles, man.
Yeah,
like
that is
just saying it like that, like he got like that is a lot of titles.
You know, and you know, like, yeah, do I care for him? No, but you got to acknowledge that, right? And we can take out our personal biases with that. But a lot of sports commentators, including some that I just shown, especially a Nick Wright, cannot. And so, again, I know we was talking about this over text. So, Dez, I want to, definitely want you to go first on this. Your opinions about sports commentators and their personal biases and how it's kind of killing sports talk right now.
I think my biggest thing is what it is, even going back to the Super Bowl, is because the media rarely lets a game or anything for that nature, be a game. Everything turns into like a narrative. And I think we live in a time where context truly matters, and we like to forget history or we shape it into what we want. But since everything turns into a narrative, that is just who they are. And sports commentators who are supposed to just analyze the game, which they tend to do, but it's that brief line where you're analyzing and starting to push your personal bias, and like they fall in love with certain players, teams, and era. And I'll always use NBA, for instance. You can't say nothing about Jordan in that, but and all that, like, you know what I'm saying? He was great. He's the greatest of our time. I don't mean it in that landscape, but at the same time, they act like he did no wrong, and you can't touch that era, but everything else can be touched. And it just shows out, like, people's personal bias comes through with things. And I think once they start to do that, everything gets filtered through this terrible lens, and at that point, you're not talking sports anymore. You're just projecting your opinion on everything. And I think that's this whole bias with all of them, all the people you name up here. It's how they move the goalposts every time. They say this is the standard, but they don't give you context and stuff like that. I'll take my guy Cole all the time. The number one thing you're going to hear about Kobe, he shot a terrible percentage, and people are going to say 40. I saw somebody on Facebook, he's like, Shaq had a better field goal percentage than Kobe. I was like, Shaq was a center. He should have had a better field goal.
Right, Shaq was dunking.
But like, if you look just from a metric standpoint, the era that Kobe played in is the hardest defensive era, and 45% is the standard of that era. And you know what I'm saying? And like, go look at all the guys. Now, if you compare that to today's numbers, of course, it's going to be different. Defense was played different. So I think when you look at certain things, like, I can't judge like Kobe. I don't say like, I come to Kobe's the best shooter ever. No, that's Steph to me. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm not gonna. There's nuances to that. But every time there's a goalpost move with these media people, and there's if a player succeeds, it's the system. If they fail, it's their fault. And I think that's where you go with things when it comes to when they want to say things with Bron. Like, literally, how I said earlier, I think maybe on air before we got on here, I said Bron should just go to Cleveland. Let Bron actually go to Cleveland. They would lose their mind. But here's the thing with the media. They was loving. That's why I've never blamed KD from leaving OKC.
Ever.
I blame him for where he went. Yeah, you may not like it, but I don't blame him for leaving. He was attacked when he was here. I thought the dude was going to go to Boston. You couldn't tell me nothing. I thought he was
I thought he was coming to DC. That's where he was from. And at the time, they had Wall and Bradley Beal. That would have been a crazy big.
That would have been crazy. But you know what I'm saying? Greatness gets evaluated based on who people like nowadays, and not what actually happened when it comes to sports on the field, on the court. Same when it comes in terms of like hip hop. We don't really evaluate those things. So you know what I'm saying? And that goes back to like I say, on the field with the black quarterbacks. That's why I said you have to be excellent. Now let Patrick Mahomes start losing and stuff like that. Watch them discredit every title that Pat won once he starts losing. Well, he was only good because Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? Look, Bill Belichick can't even get into the Hall of Fame.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
And Robert Kraft.
And Robert Kraft, because and they're gonna hold Brady out because if you put Brady in, you got to put the other ones in. So you can't sit up here and play. But that is just not to make this so long. It's not just a sports problem. I think it's happening everywhere. It's what happens anytime opinion replaces objectivity, and that is just the time we live in. And sports just makes it louder, because if you look at every great criticism, except Michael Jordan, because he doesn't get criticized. That's my issue with Mike. Mike don't get criticized. Now, I'm not saying people, he got criticized. I know Mike I remember those days. But that's why I'm like, why are we acting like Mike didn't have his stuff? And that's my problem, because even like the best thing even this season, I love the trade deadline. I hope the Lakers don't make a trade. I'm entering that in, because now there's nothing to talk about. They can't say, oh, they're going to trade LeBron. He has a no trade clause. Can't say nothing about him. Can't say nothing about him. Can't say nothing. You can't go there with anything. And they want something to talk about, but you can't get nothing. You got to have Rich Paul make dumbass comments, and then that's how you have to think there. And it's like, because they need something to talk about. So that's the issue. It's like it's not really, I was telling y'all this the other day, and I'll end with this. Like, we were talking about this generation of like with youth, and I said it's not the media is the trolls, because that is what they literally got mad at a black woman who said nothing but nice things about the Jacksonville coach and told her that is not how you report. But
shout out to Jamel Hill too.
You
attacked her too. Shout out to Jamel Hill. You are a clown. She attacked her too. Like, that's sad, fam.
Yeah. You can I'm real all but done. You just can't. You cannot comment on things. And I get there's journalistic things, but human nature and like this is like just being a decent human is just like out of the picture. Like nowadays, like that's the problem. That's the problem. So I'm done. That's my thing with it.
And we talk about context. We all know whose fault it is. The one they call Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
ESPN, Cold Pizza. Him and Woody Page will sit across from each other. Whatever Woody Page said, Skip will purposely say the opposite and disagree with him on purpose. Yeah. And it stemmed from there. And I'm not going to really add on too much because Des put it incredibly well. It's all Skip Bayless's fault. And then now it's power of numbers. It's access. It's platform. After this, fam, I can leave this room, like the chat, our podcast, our episode, and just go live if I wanted to and start going crazy. Like, it's all about the access, and then now it's the power of numbers, and then you got copycats who want to duplicate that too. So now you got minions running around giving takes, knowing good and well they don't believe in what they're saying.
Nope.
And then these individuals are getting rewarded for that on top of that. So what makes you think they're going to stop now? They're going to go even harder. So that's the annoying thing. It's the power in numbers. It's like they're getting larger and larger with all these platforms and all this access. And then all it takes is for somebody to repost it or to share it, and then it catches on to nobody who didn't go to school for it, who didn't have no backing, none of that, and then it just starts all over again. All in all, Skip Bayless, is your fault. That's all I'm saying. It's your fault, Skip.
Yeah, and if you guys heard Max Kellerman on what's my guy's name? Bill Simmons podcast. He was on Bill Simmons podcast, and he was talking about how him and Stephen A pretty much separated and what was going on behind the scenes and this and that. And to your point, how they have it structured, Max was supposed to be the guy to say the most outrageous shit, but you have to believe what you're saying and what you're putting out. And so he would literally dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. And this is his words, dig and dig and dig to find something outrageous that he could ultimately believe in. Right. And then Stephen A. So, for example, when he said what? Tom Brady's going to fall off a cliff. Y'all remember that, right? When he said that shit, right? And I was I think then Tom Brady went on to win 2 or 3 Super Bowls after that, right? But then Stephen A. Smith is supposed to be the, oh no, you're wrong, and this is why type. And if you notice how the show goes, that's exact. Now, who is that person on the show? Cam Newton, right? Say the most outrageous.
Exactly.
Smith says somehow, and that's how Skip Bayless was with Shannon, right? Skip was supposed to say the most outrageous shit, and then Shannon's supposed to be like, what the, and that's how the show structure went. That's how they structure all of these shows too. And that makes the point in which we made last season, right, about what Michelle Obama stated and how it's like a reality show. She compared it to, right, the Real Housewives of Potomac, right? It's like a reality show, right? That's what it has become with sports commentary. Instead of talking about the facts, talking about the history. To your point, Des, Jordan didn't win his first 7 years. Does anybody remember that? Does anybody remember why? Right? LeBron also wasn't able to win his first 7 years, right? Kobe, right? He didn't win his first 4, had a little drought, won again. Like, yo, these things happen, right? But it always, in sports commentary and writing, we always shrink it down to headlines as we see, right? Jordan 6-0, Kobe, Black Mamba mentality, Bron 4-6, Steph greatest, but Kevin Durant 2-time Finals MVP. But to your point, now everybody seems to forget basically the scandal behind how all of that went down. People were forgetting he was with Oklahoma City and they were up 3-1 against that same Golden State team, right? Like, people are losing that narrative and just siding with someone because they like them. And this is how this country has been ran, even with presidents, right? A lot of this shit is a popularity contest at this point. Sports commentators are no different. They're getting paid whatever they're getting paid. They just pretty much side with who they want to side with. And to your point, Skip Bayless was definitely the pusher of that as far as this generation and this decade. There's been plenty of people before him, but mainly on radio, not so much on TV. He was the first one on TV to really push that personal bias narrative within sports, which is now really taken off. And that's where we're at. And so, hopefully people tune in to hear people like us who give the full perspective, who don't just go, and I didn't like him, so he's trash. Let's come on. Bill Belichick, and again, can't stand the Patriots, but Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft not to be in the Hall of Fame is definitely political. All right. It speaks to how Bill Polian, especially, for people who don't know, Bill Polian was the general manager and the architect of those Buffalo Bills teams that went 0-4 in the Super Bowl. He was also the architect of the Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning. And who was the Colts' rival during that time? The New England Patriots. And rumor has it, Bill Polian and others in that room are singling out Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick for the cheating scandals that went on while the Colts was a rival. Again, personal. Right? But that is what it is. People, again, please don't forget to subscribe, all right, on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Kick, and Twitch. We greatly appreciate everybody who has tuned in and who's tuning in. All right, about to get into it. The Real MC.
Let's go.
With Dez, what you got for us, man?
Yeah. This one, these two I got. Keep it brief. I'm gonna try to keep bringing good for the month of February. Give Black History movies or love stories for you. Just whichever one I can sit down and watch first. I mentioned one doc earlier. That's The Evolution of the Black Quarterback. That's on Prime. That one I just
that's a really good one. Yeah.
And so go check that out for your Black History nugget there. She Taught Love is the love film I'm doing today. It is an incredible. Shout out to Anscape. They do a lot of film with Black content. They also and they're doing an incredible job. I'm
I
new
didn't know
to them.
they did that.
Yeah, they did that. They really did. It's not sure. My son didn't like the ending. He felt it was like, I forgot how he said it. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I liked it and I thought it was cool. It wasn't your typical ending, but I thought it was a simple story, just something new about love, just a different concept. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't perfect, but it was honest. It was a very candid movie, and it didn't have to be loud. We don't get enough just simple Black love stories when you do get to see them. So where it's not like a bunch of drama, a bunch of all this, I thought this one was good. It was just two people navigating love, communication, timing, and to me, this film just let Black love breathe. So this one is definitely worth the watch. I respect the silence that the film gave. I respect the vulnerability that the film gave, the emotional growth that it gave, and they did a wonderful job with that one. But She Taught Love, go check that out. You can watch that on Hulu, Disney Plus. It's a phenomenal film, She Taught Love. And my next one is actually on Netflix. Shout out to Southland. Now, Southland for me, man, this one is the best cop show I feel like on TV. I've always loved Southland. It has the great Regina King in it. I think it is just phenomenal. I've loved Southland, and I did not know it was on Netflix until I was flipping through, and I was like, "Yo!" And
I ain't know that either. I'm about to go rewatch that myself.
Yeah, Southland. If you've seen Southland, you know this show. It is what it is. I think it's the most. I mean, times have changed, but it's the most still closest you get realistic cop show that you can get out there. It's gritty, it's raw. There's not a bunch of glamour. There's no hero policing or anything. I guess I don't want to say that because I think they're all heroes in their way. My mom would be like, "Wait, what?" You know what I'm saying? Shout out to mom. But but it's just people. I love the vulnerability that they go through on that, and I love when a good show, especially when it's a police show, it shows your vulnerability in certain moments, and it just being in LA and what they dealt with, and having a mother who was in law enforcement, it made me immensely just appreciate what she does. I remember when I first watched it, I actually called her because it gave me a better perspective of her day to day. Oh, that's just TV, but some of this is real and some of that. And I just think Southland is a great one. To the old school fans who love it, go check it out. I think you get all 6 seasons. If not, they'll give you the 5th season, but it is 6 seasons if I remember right. And that's just it. It's just something simple. But like I said, what I'm gonna do with the segment, I'm gonna keep coming with one, at least try to come something historical for us in this month, as far as something to watch, and one love, or it may just be mostly love, but just to give you a good balance. So
yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, Southland is definitely a classic. And then hold up, this my man from the pit over here. All right.
What you know about the pit? We did talk about the pit.
Yeah, we on that. I'm on that now. I'm definitely on that. This my man from Gotham. The main guy. Yeah, that's crazy. Of course, the incredible Regina King. But definitely is a dope show. Another, that it was Southland. The Shield was on around that same time. Yeah. It wasn't a cop show, but Sons of Anarchy. That was I love Sons of Anarchy.
I love Sons of Anarchy. I loved Mayans, but I hated the ending of Mayans when they.
Yeah, but I couldn't get with it. The beginning was cool. Yeah, just the ending, it tailed off at the end.
Sons of Anarchy, fire.
Yeah, that show was crazy. That show was definitely crazy. Appreciate that, Des. All right, so
MCs.
This next topic. The Oscars is upon us, people. All right. We had some incredible Black talent get nominated. All right. Some for the first time. All right. So Tiana Taylor, who won Supporting Actress for One Battle After Another, all right, is nominated for the first time. All right. Ryan Coogler for, of course, Sinners, Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay. Who else?
Shout out Ryan Coogler. He got the clip of the week. You heard that interview clip?
Nah.
I forgot what the question was, but he was mentioning like snacks, and he said peanut M&Ms, and then he turned around and said, "I'm not a big soda drinker." But when the Coca-Cola machine came around, he said he got involved with that. And the way he made it seem like it was like gang related. It was hilarious.
Oh wow.
I'll send you the clip. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Send me that. But yeah, Sinners got nominated. Okay, 16 times. 16. Won 6 of them things. All right. The most in Oscar history. All right, it passed Titanic, it passed Ben-Hur, it passed I forgot the other movie that it passed, but nevertheless, it is now the most nominated film in history. All right. Again, a lot of first-time people, even Michael B. Jordan as well, first time being nominated Best Actor. A lot of other projects that got nominated. F1 got in there for Best Picture, which I believe was probably the second best or the first best movie of the year last year. Sinners and F1 up like 1 and 2 for me. Ruth Carter, the incredible Ruth Carter, she was nominated again, all right, for Sinners, all right, and she is now the most nominated Black woman in Oscar history. All right, salute to her. But the question that I brought up, right, during the rundown, all right, with how Oscars has been Oscars so white, all right, and a lot of people have been disappointed by some of the winners, or lack thereof, over the past few years, especially like it really started, I want to say in 2021 or 2022, that Oscars that Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, was nominated, and they literally held the Best Actor award till the end. Normally, that's the Best Picture award. The Best Picture award, they announced that is always last. They held the Best Actor award to the end, which made everybody think that they were going to give it to Chadwick. His wife was there, and so everybody thought, oh, they're leaving it to the end. It's going to be an incredible tribute to Chadwick, and they ended up giving it to Anthony Hopkins. Same thing with Audra Day being nominated for Billie Holiday, all right, and they gave it to Frances McDormand for the third time, all right. The first two, I can understand, she did her thing in those movies, but Nomadland, no way. Audra Day should have won that, all right. And there's been plenty of other robberies throughout Oscar history, especially towards Black people, but I think that was really the spark and of course the Will Smith slap didn't help, but getting Black people really tuning out of the Oscars, so to speak. And so Sinners is probably the most popular Black film that we've had out there since Black Panther. Popular, right? Get Out was an incredible film, but I'm talking about the popularity Sinners had would rivals Black Panther to me when Black Panther first came out, as far as Black films in cinema, people going out there spending their money for a Black film. It's Sinners, and then both were directed by Ryan Coogler, right? But do y'all feel like how I feel, that even though Sinners is an incredible film, all right, it was the highest rated film of last year by any film, all right, and all of the top review websites and whoever reviews movies, okay, like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and a whole bunch of others, all of them rated Sinners 95% or above. The only movie last year that had that type of rating, not even one better after another, not even Hamnet, which those two are probably win the Best Picture. Do y'all feel like, I feel like, again, that they nominated Sinners so much because it was an incredible movie, but also to get Black people tuning in. Do y'all feel that way, or y'all like, nah?
Nah, I 1000% feel that way. They either gonna make it right, or they gonna hit us with the okie doke. And I'm gonna tell you, like I tell my girl all the time, once people show you who they are, believe them. So if they gonna play around with centers like that, make them make history just because of the categories and the nominations, and they don't get a fraction of that, something gonna happen. Something gonna happen because it ain't adding up. If we basing off metrics and statistics and all the knowledge you dropped on that in comparison to I mean, more than a handful of movies that dropped last year that's been getting all this attention and this, that, and the third. We just gonna have to see because history showed us otherwise, just like what you pointed out alone, and we just gonna have to see.
Yeah, I don't feel like that at all. Like, yeah, I don't feel like that at all. And the reason I don't is to what Gary's point. I'll tie this all back into everything. Context matters. Like, if we say when people show you are, believe them, let it go. It ain't stopping y'all watching the Super Bowl this Sunday, right? Y'all still know what y'all dealing with the product, and y'all still gonna tune in. That don't mean you don't talk about it. That don't mean you don't acknowledge it. I'm not saying that because it has to. Because if you stop, that silence that you acknowledge the elephant in the room. NFL should have hired some black coaches. That's why even in my message, I told the boys, good for them. I don't care. Like, we know what the product is. I think for me, the reason I don't agree with it is just because I think this moment is, and first of all, and don't twist my words, these my brothers, I know what they mean when they say this, but I think this moment is worth celebrating. So 16 nominations don't happen by accident. So it isn't out of, I don't feel like it's out of charity. So before we question it, I think it's always important to respect it. And the reason that I stand firmly to say I don't agree is I know that it's natural for us to ask because we're used to you're in the game. What's that game where musical chairs, right? Where you think the chair gonna be right there, you sit down and right under you. We're used to right, yeah, they pull it under you. So, and I love what Rock said with the Chadwick because I remember that because I watched thinking like he was about to get it, and it was what it was. But the Oscars didn't do this just to get black viewers. Maybe, I don't know. All can be true. I understand the question is this, but one of the things for me is I'm continuing to stop looking through those lenses because they don't get that power from me. This is Devontae Lamar. That don't mean you call me tomorrow like I'm gonna feel a certain way. I think for a long time we have to fight just to be seen, and I always say her name, first part, but like Shirley Chisholm. I got it right there. She said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. And for a long time, I do think that was us. And I still think to some point that is still us in certain scenarios. But going back to the black quarterbacks and everything I've been saying this time, this context matters, is that excellence is the pillar that we sit on. And they can't touch when we're at our peak. You know what I'm saying? They can poke, they can try to say things. You know, we had the president and they got mad at everything he did, but they threw a fit when he put a tan suit on. The brother just tried to be sharp and they almost lost their mind because of a tan suit. And I really believe this, what one of my mentors told me. He said, the fact that you got the invitation shows that you belong to be in the room. And that's what this is. I think that Sinners got the invite and it shows mostly that they deserve to be in the room. So when we're used to getting crumbs and a full plate, we'll feel suspicious. And that's not logic. That's just conditioning, I think. And if you're never getting picked, the first time somebody says, hey, I want you on my team, you're going to think it's a joke. And I don't think we're wrong to feel like that. But Sinners didn't force its way in. It didn't sneak its way in. It got invited. And sometimes the growth isn't the nomination, it's learning how to accept it without questioning our worth. And I think that is what we've done too long. And I choose to unsubscribe with it. I am not saying I do not all 100% agree with my brothers, but I don't agree in this context because I'm going to accept it, because seeing what these brothers accomplished, when we look at that Variety article when it first was going out, it shows that we need to learn how to accept without questioning our worth. It shows that the fact that we got the invitation deserves we deserve to be in the room. And if they pull the chair under us, guess what? You ain't gonna get a chance to pull a chair on me the next time. So that's why I don't question it.
This just made me a believer that quick.
I deep down feel the way that you feel, Des. I am also a conspiracy theorist, and I have to. And I have to go there, and I have to, I have to go because I mean, it does. to your point, right? When you normally don't get picked, and then all of a sudden you're the first one, you're like, whoa, like what's going on? That is a little, but and I said it. Sinners again was like if not the best film, top 2 best films of last year. It absolutely was. It deserves all the praise that it's getting. It deserves all the awards that it has gotten. And I think, I'm not sure it'll come out with 8, maybe 6 out of the 16. Of course, like sound and
music. It's gonna win the music one.
Oh yeah, I think it's when it comes to music, definitely.
Now the big ones, Ryan Coogler should definitely get original screenplay. If he doesn't at least get that, I mean, come on now. If he doesn't at least get that one, now it's like I don't expect Michael B. to. They've been trying to give it to Timothée Chalamet since Bob Dylan. All right, they've been trying to give it to him. So
That's a good point.
Yeah, they this is the one for him. They've been.
And he should have gone for Bob Dylan. I like Bob Dylan.
And that was a good one. I was surprised how good that actually was. That was really good. But yeah, they've been trying to. So he's gonna win that. The chick from Hamnet, because Hamnet's a Shakespearean story. That's Oscar's narrative. She probably went for Best Actress. Tiana Taylor, I think, will get it for supporting. She's been on a momentum. So
she's been killing. She's been really killing.
Yeah. And they threw in Delroy Lindo. He hadn't been nominated, I think, since early in the awards. See, he didn't get nominated for a Golden Globe or Critics, I don't think. So for him to get the Oscar nod, and because he's a vet, I think he might get it too. But one that should get it guaranteed is Ryan Coogler for original screen. I don't think they'll get Best Picture because again, it's black people killing white people and chopping heads off. So I don't think it's going to get Best Picture in that regard. And they've been trying to get it to Paul Thomas Anderson, who directed one bad after another. He did so many movies. He did Magnolia. He did Boogie Nights. He's done There Will Be Blood. He's done so many movies. So this is probably his time for director and picture. But original screenplay, Ryan Coogler better get that. I know that for it. Like, if they don't get no other ones, he needs to get it for how he wrote that, how he came up with that idea, how he incorporated the Deep South and the vampires and the spirituality and the music and that generation with it. Incredible how he wrote it. And so definitely original screenplay for Sinners for sure. But we'll see. It's definitely gonna get a lot of black viewers, I'll tell you that. People will tune in because Sinners is nominated. So, but shout out to Sinners, and shout out to the Oscars for nominating Sinners for all the awards that they did. So, well, of course, we are voting for everybody black. All right,
everybody
black, everybody. All right, people. We got a bonus topic real quick that I want to get into. We were talking about it a little bit earlier. All right, this guy, okay. Angela Rye calls him Leonard, all right, because that is his first name, all right, but everybody may know him as Charlemagne the God. Said that because J. Cole dropped out of the battle last year, or the year before last, my fault. And it's crazy. That's already been 2 years.
I was just about to say.
Because I had to think about it. I was like, Kendrick's Super Bowl was last year, which means that's crazy. That's wild. That fast. That's wild. But because Cole dropped out of the battle in 2024, and because Kendrick won, over Drake, Charlemagne says there is no longer the big three. All right, because of that. And I know we had our talks about that and why we did. I'm going to just go real quick. These guys, these three in particular, carried music and hip hop for literally over the past 2 decades, right? All three of these guys came out around 2009, 2010. So they carried it through the 2010s and pretty much through this decade. I mean, who's really listening to? I mean, there's a whole bunch of different artists that we listen to, right? Or what you listen to from where you're at. But these three have been at the forefront. When these three drop albums or drops, everybody tunes in, right? And for people to dismiss Drake, all y'all niggas out there dismissing Drake, most of the music that y'all probably have in y'all phones is probably Drake because of the type of music that he makes. Most of the music that y'all probably have in y'all catalog is probably Cole because of the type of music that they make. Same thing with Kendrick, all right? They are the big three, if you will, of this decade, of this generation thus far. Just how we had, our big, who was it in the 90s, right? Biggie, Pop, and whoever else you wanted to throw in there, right? Who was it in the early 2000s? Wayne and Kanye and probably, I don't know, T.I., 50, whoever you want. Like every decade has had, those two or three guys who carry the torch through the decade. And that's been these guys. So to say that the big three is just done, he's definitely wrong.
Yeah,
I know y'all have opinions about that, yo.
For me, I'll keep it brief because I know we got that other topic for the albums and years, and I got stuff on that because it all ties in. But anyway, so essentially, I think Charlamagne was wrong because what you said, I agree 100%. I think, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, we all got these three on there. Your playlist is made of all three of these people in some way, shape, or form. And I don't think that's a bad thing. They're all great. They've literally carried the generation to the best of their ability for whatever reason. And I don't think you can take, and I always use Jay-Z and Nas. Jay-Z's still Jay-Z, even though Nas eat them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't take away that. Drake's gonna drop Iceman and people are gonna act like nothing ever happened. I think that's okay. There's going to be those who are going to call it trash because you're going to call it trash no matter what he drops. It's just like Kendrick drops something, you're going to say he can't. Kendrick literally won the Grammys, and people are like, "Oh, they're just handing it to him." And I was like, "You can't just get a Grammy."
Yeah,
there are those who do, but you know what I'm saying. You can't just get it handed to you at that level, just like that.
I will say, with Kendrick, he is there. They have their favorites.
Not at the Grammys. Do you know the metric?
They do. They do.
Wait, no. Answer my question. Do you know the metric to win a Grammy?
No, I do not.
Then I would go look at that before you say that.
Yeah, and the only reason why I would ad-lib that is because Rock, trust me, not even 2 years ago, I've been feeling like that for the Grammys for the longest. And when I found out the actual process of the whole Grammy thing, these rappers alone are lazy, fam.
Yeah.
It's a whole process, and it has nothing to do with them releasing the music. It's way deeper than that.
Yeah, they're the whole process for a whole Grammy. Everything that he got with the Grammys, he's got with the Grammys, and it's like, yeah, it's the momentum. Some of it does happen for stuff, but the metric to actually win a Grammy is, we don't have to agree who they pick. That's two different things, because I've had a lot of times, but it's just like, there's different nuances that goes on there. And the Grammy Academy, shout out to them. They do their best because it can be biased. But we had a project that we try to get Grammy. It is the metric. I have homies who've won Grammys. The metric to win a Grammy is not as what people think it is. So those Grammys he got, they were not handed. Those were definitely earned. Any Grammy. There are those who we can question sometimes, and I do not go against it because I'm not going to say it's not bought, it's not that.
Like Adele winning over Beyonce?
Yeah, like, you know, like there's those where you be like, come on. But the Grammy doesn't always take it. It's really who's on the committee. It's so many things, nuances that go on it that really shape that. Because you could have had person A behind that Adele year, not there now, or however that works. Like, there's so many levels. With the
I mean, I give you that. I give you that.
Yeah, but yeah, ultimately, yeah, they're the big three. That's where it's at.
They're definitely the big three, like no matter what. And to your point, Des, he said that, like, Charlamagne said that, like, people were just not going to listen to the fall off coming Friday. Like, fam,
he's gonna be the first to listen to it. The fall off,
and then blame it on like his part of his job or something.
Yeah, J. Cole should have just that battle over. The battle stings to me J. Cole worse than it stings anybody else.
Yeah,
I think he should have responded, and the reason J. Cole should have responded, and he should have did one response.
But he did. But he did, and he erased it. I still have it on my phone. I downloaded the song.
So that's not a response. That's why it don't like. I know he did, but he should have left it. And that
he should have left it,
and will always stand with him, especially when he keeps crocodile tears. He's talking about he the rapper everybody fears, right?
But do y'all know the backstory? Like, apparently, like there was a phone call between Cole and Kendrick, and between that call, this is why Cole has been acting the way he's been acting.
That's the good man.
Like something like like there was a phone call, and from that, that's when Cole pretty much backed out, and then just let Kendrick go with Drake, and then Cole then just stopped fucking with Drake.
It's a history, man. Like I think y'all gotta like. I'm about to give a history lesson in a second. I'll break it down. I'm about to break it down.
People, about to get into our top 5 or 10. All right. This one, I forget. I know I saw one of the. I think it was the So they were going back, of course, a decade to like 2016, and the albums that they had listed were very inaccurate because a lot of those albums came out either before 2016 or so. I was like, well, what albums did come out in 2016? And I went back to the albums that came out in 06, and then I went back to the albums that came out in 96 because I wanted us to see how hip hop has gone over the last 3 decades, right? So y'all want to start with 96 or y'all want to start with 2016? How y'all feel?
Whatever. Go older and work our way back.
All right, let's do that. All right, let's do that. So in 96, all right, you had Ghostface Killer, Iron Man. All right, now just if y'all haven't watched
classic
of Mics of Men, the Wu-Tang Clan 4-part documentary that's on Paramount, watch that. Of Mics of Men, classic Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah, just incredible what they did. Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt came out in 96.
Classic, should have went triple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Reasonable
Doubt. Remember, the fall off is like dropping Reasonable Doubt last.
Yeah. The Roots, all right. Half-Life, all right. The Fugees, one of my shout out to Jersey. All right, the Fugees, The Score, classic. All right,
Fun fact. One of the first albums I ever bought with my own money was Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh, another classic. Oh man.
And I bought it from Blockbuster, so you can only imagine how much that was.
Be kind, rewind.
I remember listening to that album on YouTube. I was like one random ass day. I said, let me just listen to this whole album. Man, I was, by the time the album finished, I was boo-hooing, I was cheering, all the emotions. I was angry. All the emotions, man. She put you through it on that joint.
Yeah.
And then Outkast, all right, AT-Aliens, all right, came out in 96. All right. And so fast forward a decade, all right, to 06. All right.
I'm on 06.
Jay Dilla.
That's the one.
That's the one, man. I play that album so much, it's ridiculous.
Man, rest in peace to Jay Dilla, man.
Straight up.
He was incredible. One of my favorite albums, Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor. Incredible from the intro.
I love that album.
The Roots was still killing it. Game Theory. All right. What else we had? We had Nas.
Great album.
I like that album a lot too.
And then we had, of course, T.I. with King. All right, he had a couple bangers on that joint. All right, and then fast forward.
King was major.
Yeah, he had a couple bangers on that joint. And then the last one, all right, so 2016, fast forward to, all right, we had Schoolboy Q, all right, Blank Face, all right. Couldn't get the album picture, so I had to get it to it. We had Chance the Rapper, all right, The Coloring Book, which did major numbers independently, major. All right, that really, from my recollection, that really made people go, I'm about to go independent when Coloring Book, how successful that
was. For
sure. Of course, Untitled, Unmastered with Kendrick. All right.
My favorite type of albums.
Yeah, one of my favorite Kanye, this our Life of Pablo aged on you. Like you now listening to Life of Pablo, it's an incredible. I mean, it was an incredible album then, but now listening to it is like, man, we miss Kanye. Yo. We miss Kanye, man.
That's the concert. That's the concert I wish I went to. He was in Dallas, the Life of Pablo, when he had that floating stage. Man, I wish I went to that. I wish I went to that show, man.
Yeah, I'm sure that was probably incredible,
man.
And then you had Run the Jewels. Right? Run the Jewels 3 at the time dropped out. So, in comparing all the decades, right? I just wanted to show. Again, where hip hop has gone, how it's progressed, how some of these artists, the roots carrying themselves through 2 decades, right? Kendrick now carrying himself through a few decades. Lupe, even though he's not rapping as much, he's still out there. T.I., right? Nas has been killing it over the last 5 years. All right.
Oh, yeah.
His albums. Which decade speaks to y'all the most?
Dang, that's a good one. Man, that's like adolescence, man. Like that whole timeline. Man, that's a real good question because it's like 96, man.
Yeah, for me,
96, man. It's like it's like 96 at times is starting to get like the default answer to me when it comes to that. Because it's like you point out all the other albums you point out was like super good too, and I copped all of them albums, like the 2016s and before that. I copped all of them on my own money. Like I was still buying physical albums, the CDs, and all that. So it's like all that's coming back to mind as we're talking about that. Dang, man, I can't call it. Like because like I said, 96 is always like a default to me when it comes to hip hop. It's just like, man, those other albums you listed were super good too. Like Lupe Fiasco, me and my homies would have conversations like every other day, like, yo, when is this album about to drop? And then I remember the original day it was supposed to drop and it got pushed back. And we got so hot because we just want the album.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's I don't know, man. I just 96 by default.
Yeah, so this is the segment I've been waiting for all day because
my man been over here chilling. He said he been.
Because this is the most important history lesson. Because this is the year that changed a lot how I look at people and look at a lot of things. So when you frame this question and you look at this question, 96 is the peak golden year era, and I don't think it can ever be debated. 2006, that's the identity crisis era. And this is going to be a great hip hop lesson for y'all from a hip hop end, because this is about to go down. Like, and it's identity crisis era. That's why I've always hated the 2000 rap era, and the reason that's why Nas put out Hip Hop Is Dead, because at that point that was the identity crisis. It was the death of the CD starting to merge there. It was done. Hip hop was done.
Mixtapes was going out.
Yep. And then you get to 2016. 2016 is one of the most important eras of hip hop. I've said this whole episode, context matters. And this is the reason why, is because 2016 was the political breaking era of hip hop. It was the streaming era of hip hop. And I bring up 2016, and this is my pick because context matters. 2016 didn't just happen. 2016 is the reason that we're here at 2026. And if you do not understand how what happened 10 years ago set the precedent of where we are now, you are clearly missing it. So I want to throw some things out. Also, that came out. Rob put a good list together. Views also came out that year. Future dropped that year. Travis Scott dropped that year. Ray Shremmerd dropped that year. Those are some of the biggest projects that dropped that year. And not because they were like
but real quick there, to your point, the ones that I featured were like the poster, like that, those albums defined that year.
I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get on that. So those were not because they weren't the biggest or the best or whatever like that. So so just to kind of piggyback and clean up, Kendrick's was on that list. It's not a technical album, but it was a compilation that dropped that year. And there was a reason that Untitled Master Drop was a compilation, one of the best that year that I heard. Coloring Book was a mixtape, but that, to your point, what you said, it was important because it made everybody want to go be an independent artist. And like, you know what I'm saying? But I want to say, because context matters, the classification of it. But the reason I'm standing with 2016 is because, like I said, it didn't just happen. 2016 was a pressure cooker. You got to remember, we were in a political earthquake. There was blood on the ground. Culture was mourning. Digital takeover was about to happen in 2016. An election that wasn't just politics, it was a cultural divorce. And politics became entertainment in 2016. But the stakes, the life and death were still there. We have, Alton Sterling that happened. That's where the blood on the ground was. Philando Castile, am I saying that right there, Rock? Right. And then you had and then you had those two were back to back and they were on video. You had, I think it was a shooting in Dallas that year. Baton Rouge happened that year. Kaepernick took a knee that year. So when we talk about black quarterbacks, Kaepernick took his knee that year. Also, Prince died. Muhammad Ali died. Phife Dawg died. It felt like the culture was losing its elders. But we were so distracted with a Pokemon takeover because everybody wanted to go catch them all. Memes were being processed and wanted to do that. And streaming became the default in that time. But here's 2016, and the reason I picked 2016 brought the real question of what we deal today. And I ask anybody who's listening to our podcast to understand mirrors and comfort, because that is the standard of what 2016 showed us. And here's the real question. In that year, you had a lot of artists who chose to reflect the times with the projects that they put out. And you had other artists who ignored that shit. They ignored the culture when they had to stand up for the culture. Because let me talk about it. You had Tribe Called Quest give you their last album, and I'm gonna come back to that because that's an important note. YG gave you Still Brazy, and he gave you FDT, which was important for the culture at the time.
And the album was fire.
J. Cole, For Your Eyes Only, which talked about incarceration, grief, consequences. You had Common also that year released Black America Again. Danny Brown released a whole project on mental health, addiction. It was a mirror. And it's not hip hop, but Beyonce gave us Lemonade that year. So 2016 was a cultural melting pot. But there was a lot of artists who chose to ignore the fucking culture and what was happening at that time. They ignored all those things. They did little posts. They lit a little thing. I told my son this weekend, you're going to see a lot of people get up on this Grammy stage and say, oh, stop this, stop ice, stop that. And then we should. But some of them are saying just to check the box. And that was happening a lot in 2016. A lot of people made posts, oh, this shouldn't be happening. And some of them same people, when you look now later, they've changed their situation up and now standing with the opposition that was trying to grow in 2016. And I ain't naming no names because I don't got time for that right now. But there was a bridge. And the reason I say it, it was some of the biggest albums that came out that year and gave a lot of people comfort. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing wrong because I was comfortable in 2016 with a lot of it. It was not evil. It was not trash, but it did not mirror a lot what was happening in the times and a lot that dictated what happened there. The babies that are now 16, 17 were 7 years old and put in a political crossfire for the next years of their life starting in 2016. And these soundtracks that they were given, some of them were like themes for the next coming year, but it matters and context matters. And the most important album at the end of the year dropped, and that was Tribe Called Quest's album. And the reason it was the most important album that year, they said, we got it from here. And it was the last album with Phife Dawg. Tribe Matters, they dropped right after the election, not before, right after the election. And the album was a warning shot. It was a diagnosis. It simplified the year. And Tribe delivered a eulogy and a warning. And then in 2017, before I say that, Tribe had a song on there, Conrad Tokyo. Conrad Tokyo was one of the most important songs in hip hop because Phife's verse was like a prophecy of what was to come. And then in that song, Kendrick did not just wait, do it, record it, send it back via email. He went to Q-Tip's crib. Him and Q-Tip linked. And they talked about it. And his message, what he said, Phife Dawg's lyrics, and if you go listen to Kendrick's lyrics, they were a direct reply to him. And Q-Tip and them passed the torch of what Tribe has always represented to hip hop to Kendrick Lamar. Then you had 2017, and you know what Kendrick said in 2017? He summed up 2016 and where we had to go in one word, and that was damn. Damn. It was a reaction to 2016. It was a reaction, a self-reflection of itself. It was the bridge. So I'm gonna say this: what we learned about 2016, it wasn't an argument about just one artist. It was about patterns that we still deal with today. 2016 showed you the culture needs mirrors, but other people will still choose their comfort. 10 years later, we are living in the consequences that the culture is forced to choose again. And a lot of people don't know how to pivot with it. So here we go with the same person who's fighting to get in office then, now in office now, and we are forced to look at these things and seeing how we're going to pivot, because the culture needs mirrors. And that what you do will reflect on those same babies who are now 7 looking at us, who are going to be the next generation coming up. So that's my take on 2016 being the best.
Number one, Dev. Number one. For the second time this episode, you just made me a believer again. Number 2, my daughter is 17, so that's crazy. that's wild. And I actually forgot what number 3 is because you just made so many good points. I forgot what number 3 was.
It's real, bro. Pay attention to those complacent voices, the ones who do the respectable politics and the collaborators, and because like it really is. And I want to be very clear. Those ones who chose to make comfort music, that's just what it is. Right. Some artists, that's their choice. I don't get mad at people with their choice, but you need to know what we're dealing with. And Rock said it earlier. Look, I ain't sitting down trying to play every political song. I don't need to play that. We understand that. But the time you have ICE doing what ICE is doing, you have people going out here, and nothing has changed in 10 years. 2 years, and we're only 10 years. 10 years. So it's like we still are having to talk about black coaches not being hired. We're still having to have these conversations. We're still having conversations saying, don't shoot us, don't kill us. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we wonder why we get the outcomes we get when so many people refuse to pick a side. They hide behind, I'm not political, but they'll still be part of some political outcome when it fits their narrative. That's why you're seeing all these people get caught. That's why we can't look up to a lot of these artists, but 2016 is one of the most important years because it dictated where we are now. And that's why I say in the defense, that's why I love Drake, Cole, and Kendrick, but at the same time, I love me some Kendrick because he understood the task that was asked of him. And what he did for himself to step away for 5 years to come back to do Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper was important. What he did when Tribe asked him to do what he did was important. Go listen to Conrad Tokyo, but listen to it with new ears, knowing that it was his direct reply to a Phife Dawg who was gone.
I'm gonna definitely listen to that again because I really enjoyed that album, and I'm gonna definitely run that back. Oh, that was number 3. Number 3 was like I'm about to look at 2016 hip hop related whole like different, like I never thought of it like even remotely that way, and you put so much into perspective, fam. I can't even think of 96 by default no more.
Yeah, look, FDT when it came out, that's all we was screaming. But look what everybody eliminated. Like all that was a very important. Just the year before we got to Pimp a Butterfly, it was a very important year for music and on these artists. And like I said, my intention is not to fault an artist who didn't speak out, because some did in every way. But what I'm looking at is here we are 10 years later, and who's speaking out?
Yeah, and look where we at. Yeah.
No, that's great points. And yeah, I ain't got shit to say. You killed it.
Man, that's my year. That's just my year, man. That's just my year.
That's how we're gonna leave that. People. Again, please subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Kick, and Twitch. Thank you for Doobie for sponsoring this episode and all of our episodes. Since the fall. So greatly appreciate Doobie. Go cop that again. Right there in the QR code. All right, please use the HL Podcast to get a discount. All right, on plethora of energy drinks and supplements that you can get through Doobie. All right, people, about to end the show with what's the question?
Mm.
I wanted to show those images because, yes, that is what I'm about to talk about. All right. Do we not remember that when the United States Constitution was written, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, women were not considered people?
Mm.
Let me say that again. Do we not remember when the U.S. Constitution was written that blacks, Hispanics, Asians, and even women were not considered people by white men who quote unquote founded this country? So with the recent arrest of award-winning journalists such as Don Lemon and Georgia Fort, as well as Jamel Lundy and hope I'm saying his name right, Shereen Cruz. Hope I'm saying that name right. Forgive me if I pronounce your name wrong. But after the coverage of the protests happening at City Church in St. Paul, Minnesota, that order was by U.S. General Pam Bondi. Okay, sounds a lot like Bundy, but whatever. Bondi. All right. People are questioning: do we have the right to free speech? Okay. Now, everyone on social media is screaming about the First Amendment, which states Congress shall make no law, all right, respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging, all right, the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for the redress of grievances. All right. That is literally what it states in the First Amendment. So pretty much, again, it gives you, all right, the right to freedom for religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom to assembly, and freedom to petition the United States government. Okay. This amendment is supposed to cover all of those things. But again, we have to remember that the First Amendment was adopted on December 15th, 1791. All right. It was designed to protect individuals' liberties and limit the power of federal government, addressing issues raised by anti-federalists during the ratification of the Constitution. All right. Initially, it applied only to the federal government, but through the 14th Amendment, all right, and if you haven't seen 14th on, is it 14th or 13th? But if you haven't seen that on Netflix, narrated by Will Smith, please go check that out.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Now, what does the 14th Amendment state? All right. It was ratified in 1868, and it granted citizenship and equal civil rights to all persons born and or naturalized in the United States. All right, significantly impacting civil rights and liberties. All right, the 14th Amendment protects citizenship clause, due process, all right, equal protection under the law, representation, and disqualifications from office. All right, mind you, all of this was written by solely white men. Okay, and again, no blacks, Hispanics, Asians, nor women were in these rooms. But by the 14th Amendment, we were being considered. All right, on the basis of laws, all right, alone, none of them should have been arrested. All right. Speaking of Don Lemon, Georgia Fort, and the others. All right. None of them should have been arrested. In fact, all right, they tried to arrest Don Lemon before, all right, and was rejected twice in attempts to arrest him. All right. And this time they proceeded anyway. All right. And as some of you may know, Don Lemon publicly came out against Donald Trump, especially against Nicki Minaj and that whole fiasco. Right. What was that? Now, people, we can be outraged, all right, as we should. However, what is the plan? Okay, we've been screaming about this constantly, all right? We protest, we get out there, we screaming. What is the plan? All right, we've been saying this since Reagan at this point. What's the plan for us? All right, as I've alluded to, I believe, again, forming that Rainbow Coalition and coming together. That's what Fred Hampton started. All right, and I think that's the trajectory and kind of where we're headed in some sense. But what is it going to take? Because Trump and his supporters and the Supreme Court are just getting warmed up. All right, and this isn't just happening in Minnesota. All right, it's also happening in Texas, Georgia, okay, California, New York, Illinois, even in Missouri. All right, when Ferguson was going on. All right, they were arresting journalists then too. All right. But what is it going to take for us to come together? All right, Malcolm X said it best. All right, we are outnumbered. We are not outnumbered. We are simply unorganized. All right, we can no longer be confined by laws, by taxes, by mediocre education, lack of proper nutrition and healthcare. All right, they already have a hold on us and control, and they are trying to go for the jugular, people. All right, and this moment matters. All right, we must not engage in violent acts of protest because that's what they want. All right, so they can claim such orders as martial law. All right, if you don't know what martial law is, please go look that up. All right, and have the appropriate excuse or bullshit reasoning to cancel the midterm elections. Pay attention, people. All right, and remain in power going forward. You cancel those midterm elections, which is what he's trying to do, and also get us into war. There is a clause that the president can stay in place if that happens, which is what Trump is trying to do. All right, so again, history, all right, or his story, as the late, great Jill Scott Heron stated, all right, is being manipulated. But one thing we have over our ancestors at this moment is our current knowledge of the past, okay? We know terror organizations such as MEGA, ICE, even the Supreme Court at this point, have failed throughout his story, all right? They have told us their history too, all right? And we know that they will not prevail, all right? They will crumble, all right? And we will rise again, all right? But with our rebirth, all of us, all right? All right, we won't make it. All of us not gonna make it, all right? Whether physically, mentally, or even emotionally, all right? And we have to establish a new way of life and how we the people want society to be the benefit for all of us. This battle between insanity versus humanity is happening right now.
Say that again, Rock.
This battle between insanity and humanity is happening right now, people. Right now.
Not now, but right now.
Right now.
Not now,
Not
but
tomorrow.
Right. So, yeah, people, just want to thank y'all, everybody, for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. As always, DJ No Name, I am Dez. Appreciate y'all, man. As always, on and off the court. All right, y'all hold it down. Y'all be helping me out. Dez be getting me through some things. We ain't gonna talk about it, but he be getting me through some things, man.
Hey, my brother,
So,
man, I got you, man.
So I appreciate y'all, man. Definitely. And Gary, you already know, man. You already know. A lot familiar, man. But yeah. What y'all got to say to the people, man?
Man, keep it black. Shout out to Tyler James. Shout out to No Parker Studios. Shout out to Black Moon. Beth.
Black Moon, yeah.
Yeah, Beth has put together an exhibition that is dropping this Saturday called Permission to Breathe. It is at Positive Space. It is going to be an incredible exhibition. If you're in the Tulsa area, be sure to check that out. It'll be from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. A handful of artists will be there, and they'll be doing their thing. Shout out to Des. Shout out to Amrock. Shout out to all of us. And when I mean all of us, I mean black people.
Man, that's it, Gary. You ain't gonna say your usual.
No. I just wanted to start off the top of the year with that. I'm
about to say we ain't no trolls today. We ain't no trolls. So
man,
Gary ain't need to go off on nobody today. We all right today.
Well, shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out for just this space for people to truly come and just be here and hope somebody gets something out of it. Whether you watch now, whether you watch later, whether you watch 3 months from now, and this is the first episode you watch. Like, we're glad you got something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Beth. Congratulations, Beth, on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll be back outside June 15th, y'all. Beth is back June 15th. I thought getting my graduation. Yeah.
Oh, right quick. Yeah. Shout out to everybody getting back on their education, man. Like I was talking to the homie Malachi last night. He's getting back into the books.
Come on, now.
Yeah, I'm happy for my people's getting back into school, man. Education is very important. It's already said that y'all can't read out there. So I need y'all to get back in school, get back in the books, and learn how to read above a 6th grade level at that.
Come on. And then, since Gary didn't tell nothing y'all to do with water, I'm going to tell y'all, go drink large amounts of water. Drink it every day. It helps you avoid other people's drama because you're too busy peeing and being hydrated.
There you go. And then since you're going to do that, go ahead and wash your ass after.
I was waiting for it.
And on that note, peace and love, everybody. Peace and love.